This is WWE Hall of Famer JBL, and you are listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Brothers and sisters, one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself is staying hydrated. And you know what I'm talking about. You go to your basketball game, football game, pro wrestling events, and suddenly you get a little parched. Well, one of the best ways that you can keep yourself safe is using Liquid IV. See, Liquid IV is a hydration stick that you can pour into 16 ounces of water and immediately get more efficiently hydrated than water alone. Okay? 12 delicious, refreshing flavors, all of your essential B vitamins, including B3, B5, B6, B12, even vitamin C. 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. It's made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, soy, all that good stuff there. Listen, I'm telling you right now, folks, Liquid IV has changed my life. It's something that I use on a regular basis because I'm always on the go. I gotta stay hydrated. You gotta stay hydrated. Liquid IV has your back. It'll keep you exactly that way, hydrated. But don't just take my word for it. I want you to try it out. And because of that, if you head over to liquidiv.com right now, you can put anything that you want in your cart, and then at checkout, use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin. No spaces in that now. Duke Loves Rasslin. Going to save you 20% on your entire order. That's how much I care about your hydration. That's how much I want you to check out Liquid IV. So what are you waiting for? Shop better hydration today. Visit liquidiv.com. That's right.
You're locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, unless you've been living under a rock, this is Bill Hazelwood on the 501st episode of the award-winning network of Duke Loves Wrestling. Stand back, sit down, relax, and enjoy yourself. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell an enemy about Duke Loves Wrestling and this loudmouth, washed-up, has-been, nobody professional announcer. Duke, how are you, buddy?
Let me tell you something. I could only be fantastic when I hear my man with the golden voice himself, Bill Hazelwood. I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Well, it's warm here in the South, and you told me before we went on the air that it's cold up there, so I think I'll take down here for now.
Bill, if you keep messing around, you and I are going to switch. You're gonna be looking like me. I'm going to be looking like you. What the hell's going on here?
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I grew up north. So when you relate to me the snow totals, and I may have shared this with you before, and let me share this with the fans around the world. I moved to Greenville, South Carolina in early 1990. This is my 35th year here. And I got so tired of do you miss the snow that this is a true story, because I got here and it was winter, and there was a winter storm warning. And I was looking around going, well, where's this snow? There's like 3 or 4 inches. Businesses were shutting down and all this other stuff. So everybody just always talked about it. And they said, do you miss the snow? Do you miss the snow? I really went and bought a postcard of a beautiful snow scene. And I used to carry it with me for years. And when people asked me, do you miss the snow? I would pull out that postcard and go, let me show you something. I said, you see that right there? That snow is posing for that picture. I said, that's a glamour shot. I said, and Duke, you'll certainly be able to relate to this. I said, let me tell you what snow is. Snow is a 2 or 3 feet deal. You get up the next morning, you shovel your car out for 2 hours, you go inside and get your cup of coffee ready, and in the meantime, the snowplow comes back over and covers your damn car back up. I said, that's snow. I said, you pile it in the Walmart parking lot, and it turns a slushy brown about May. And I said, and you buy a car and you finance it for 4 or 5 years, and it rusts away because the road salt eats it away. I said, that is snow, and I don't miss that at all. So, so you can certainly relate to probably about 40 or 50 or at least 50% of what I just said, because you experienced some of that a few weeks ago, right?
I sure did. I mean, like I said, we had over 30 inches of snow that I had to dig out in the middle of a blizzard while you're sitting here in shorts having a good time. I'm telling you, Bill, something's uneven about what's going on here.
My concern was for you and that 30 inches of snow, but my concern for me was, is my air conditioning working? You know?
Must be nice. I hear that the Roughest, Toughest Brawl knocked it out of the park once again. Huh? Talk to me about this, man.
Well, I had a small stroke in July, so I forgot to write this down. So I did want to share with the people, the Rainsville show, which we've been doing this is our 16th consecutive year. And the people of Rainsville, man, they show up. We packed it to the rafters both nights. But it was also, and I forgot to mention this, it was also on pay-per-view. When I got there, they had the cameras set up and all this other stuff, and we went in a production meeting, and I kind of acted like I knew what I was doing, and it was unreal. I mean, the fightforitcompany.com, they have I learned a lot from these guys. There's a lot of smaller pay-per-view companies out there, and again, I'm certainly not going to mention any names or whatever, but a lot of times you go on and you pay a small fee, and it's a one camera angle, raw footage. These guys had a production. They had producer, director, 3 cameras. They had something that was very unique. They had these 360 high definition cameras mounted in the opposite corners of the ring. So when I get to it and tell you how you can rewatch that, the fans were able from home to get an amazing, unique perspective. I was just floored when I went back and watched it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nothing beats a live event. Nothing. Whether it's NASCAR, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, Super Bowl or WrestleMania or whatever, beats a live event. But being able to sit in the comfort of your living room and see the quality of what these guys were able to do, I was blown away. I mean, I really was, because like I said, the last time I was on, I did not mention that Rainsville was on pay-per-view, and it was. But that brings me to my next thing. Our next big, never happened kind of event called the Southern Nationals is coming up March 27th and 28th from Rainsville, Alabama. It, too, is going to be on pay-per-view. And I think I touched on this the last time, Duke. This is the first time we've ever allowed this to happen. Normally you have to be within 75 miles of the venue for several reasons, because most of the people in the crowd are friends and family and stuff like that, local boxing fans of the fighters. But we've had a lot of requests about, hey, man, I bet you I could follow y'all to Birmingham and beat those guys' ass, and I bet you I could go here, and I could bet you. So we've made that happen. The Southern Nationals, we've already got our limit of 100 fighters. 20 from North Carolina, 20 from South Carolina, 20 from Georgia, 20 from Tennessee, and 20 from Alabama already signed up. Find out who is the baddest damn guy in the South. And it's going to be happening at the DeKalb County Coliseum this Friday and Saturday. And it's going to really be something, because it's going to be my first time in 18 years doing the Roughest and Toughest Brawl to see this level of competition. So it's going to be something that can't be explained on experience.
I love that. And again, what is the thing about the Roughest, Toughest Brawl that just makes people so excited they show up? Because you have such a loyal fan base, man, and it's crazy to see the growth there. Why is it such a big hit?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because you must have a camera in my living room reading my notes. I'll relate. I'll relate to Waynesville. Okay, Waynesville, North Carolina, is right up there next to the Cherokee Nation. Okay, where the eastern band of the Cherokee Indians live, and they've got the casino, and they've got Dollywood, and they've got those several places. And if you've been to those 3 or 4 times, there's really not a lot to do there. So they show up every year. But I was going to tell you, there was a young lady, because we had 6 women with no fighting experience show up to fight. And I'm going to tell you, they stole the damn show. They stole the show on Friday, and they stole the show on Saturday. And they went to work. And I tell people, I always love a local hero. I just do. And because for those of you who don't know, I've never considered myself famous by no stretch of imagination, but I certainly didn't start out famous. There was, until my father came back from the military, there was 11 of us in a 6-room house, and we lived on a dirt road off of a dirt road in Coaldale, West Virginia. We had no running water, no indoor plumbing, meaning we drew our water out of a cistern and heated it on the stove to cook and take a bath. And no indoor plumbing means we had an outside toilet, even when it snowed 30 inches. So I grew up hard and I grew up tough. So to get to where whatever level of minuscule fame I think I am, I feel like I'm a local hero. But this young lady Saturday night, and I'll probably get emotional telling you this, man. I saw something in her Friday. She had that determination, and I think this probably comes from my wrestling announcing background. Saturday night, she made it to the finals of the women, and I said, brother, I am going to put this girl over like you can't believe. And when I introduced her Saturday night, I said, representing the proud people of the Cherokee Nation, Kaylee, and I gave her this nickname, the Wolf. Her name was Kaylee Wolf. And that damn place came unglued. I mean, she got a WrestleMania kind of pop. And that was before the fight. Okay? So when she won, I didn't slow down. I got on the microphone and I put that girl over like the champion that she was. And I think, to answer your question in a 15-minute response, that is the magic of the brawl, because these young men and women not only don't have, they can't have any professional experience, okay? Because we only run in states that have a boxing commission. That's to keep everybody safe and to keep everything up the board and all that other stuff. So they get put in a national database, and they can't have any fighting experience. So when somebody rises to the top and they have hundreds of their friends sometimes sitting in the crowd, they get that, like you and I discussed, they get that 15 minutes of fame that I think everybody in the world is starved for. I think that's what makes social media so popular. I think that's what makes reality TV so popular, is everybody wants to be somebody. And this young lady, to me, when I introduced her Saturday night, I joked on, I took my money, and I make plenty of money when I announce, but I'd have done that shit for free. I really would, because I saw her response. She started crying. Hell, I started crying. The people in the crowd started crying. So maybe the next time I'm on Duke Loves Wrestling, if you know somebody from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama that rises to that occasion, Bill Hazelwood may be on the Duke Loves Wrestling show announcing them in that way. Because I think that's the secret to it, is it's really entertaining, don't get me wrong. We really give people more than their money's worth, but the fighters that come in there, like I said before, they fight 100% from heart. And it's just a very unique experience. I mean, when you watch the Super Bowl, or you watch the LA Lakers play, or you watch LeBron play, or you watched Michael Jordan play, you had certain expectations. You know, man, Michael just had an off night. Well, he only scored 30. Well, he only scored 45. So when these people come and watch their boy that cuts their grass, or the young lady that works at the IT's data center there in Cherokee, or she works at Walmart or something, and they see her, and for that brief moment, she is a star. And we put a championship belt on them, and we put a gold medal around their neck, and we pay them in cold hard cash, and we take pictures, and they share it, and they write it up in the local newspaper. We feel like we've done our job, because to me, she fought Friday and Saturday. Okay, some of the men had to fight 4 times on Saturday. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So to me, when they get in those championship rounds, they deserve to be there, and they deserve the best that Bill Hazelwood can give them.
Well said. Well said. So this upcoming event here, again, this is going to be on pay-per-view. So because here's the problem, Bill. All the listeners who've been hearing you for the years who are not in the area, they feel like they're missing out, man. So now you guys open it up so everybody can check it out, right?
100%. And what I'm about to explain to you, I'm not stingy. You know, I've helped people over the years that deserve not to be helped, but I am frugal. I'm frugal as hell. Okay, I can rub two nickels together till they catch on fire. Okay, so I reverse engineered this thing, and maybe the company will get upset, maybe they won't. But here's how I figured out it works. You can go to app.fightforitcompany.com. That's FIGHT foritcompany.com, and it's $19.99 a month. You can go back and watch the Waynesville fights. They've already been put up. Okay, with full color commentary and everything, and all the great knockouts and all that stuff. But maybe they don't want you to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. And you're gonna leave it in, and it's gonna go up on World Wide Web, and too late. But for $10 more, okay, Friday and Saturday they can buy for $30. They can buy the Rainsville fights. Okay, for $30. Watch all the fights on Friday. Watch all the fights on Saturday. And can go back and watch the Waynesville fights for free, okay, for a month. And then also a week later, they can go back and rewatch the Rainsville fights one at a time, okay? So I kind of went on the site and worked it out and talked to the pay-per-view guy to get a better understanding of it. So for $30, okay, you'll be able to watch nearly 100 fights over 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, because there's going to be several thousand people there in the Coliseum, but we certainly don't expect a lot of people to drive from North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, Tennessee to watch this. But WWW is World Wide Web. You can watch it anywhere in the world, Australia, Shaka Zulu, Zimbabwe, wherever you're listening to this from. If you've got the internet, that's actually a place, Duke. I've looked it up. Okay.
Wow.
At app.fightforitcompany.com for $30. They can watch all those fights this Friday and Saturday night. They can then go back and watch the Waynesville fights for free. And then they can also watch the other content that is on that app, which is some MMA shows and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm here to promote the Roughest and Toughest Brawl. So I think for $30, you can't beat that. Because you can't be there in person. The next best thing is to be in front of your big 75-inch TV now, because I went to Walmart and the guy said, man, 50-inch TV's nothing now. You got to have 75-inch or above. So 4K, comfort of your own living room, watch that, and you might catch a glimpse of an old gray-haired, loudmouth announcer, and you go, oh, he looks a lot older than he sounds.
Old silver tongue.
Old silver tongue and old silver hair, absolutely, man. Yeah. But I'd rather it be gray than gone, you know, turning gray versus turning loose.
I love it.
But I'm super excited because, again, this is the first time we've ever did anything like this. So we're in uncharted territory. We're going to see probably a level of fighting. Because don't get me wrong, these guys fight by heart. And on Saturday night, the fights are twice as good because, unfortunately, the guys that can't fight get beat on Friday night. So Saturday night are the winners. But this Saturday and this Friday's going to be guys from 5 different states gloving them up. And then Saturday night is going to be the best of 5 different states gloving them up. So the level of competition is probably going to be something when I come back on your show again, talking about that I've never experienced in my life. I mean, it's going to be really something.
Folks, if you can be there, you have to be there. The Roughest and the Toughest Brawl. I'm telling you right now, if you can't be there, definitely check it out on pay-per-view. That's what I'm going to do because I want to see all the action. And, you know, the beer is just as good at home there since I can't be there live, but it is affordable where you're at, right? You have some pretty good concession packages there, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. We got a great concession stand. We don't try to rob people on prices. I mean, we're very good on our prices. There's no bad seats. It's just the atmosphere is what we've tried to do is in the buildings that we do is max them out. we don't try to rent out a place that holds 10,000 people and put 3,000, 4,000 people in it because it seems empty. We like that light, that tight, intimate atmosphere to where the people can sit back and relax. And of course, I'm on the microphone constantly, talking pure trash. And I do want to tell people this, again, not to put myself over, but Friday night in Rainsville, which again, you can watch that on the app. Unfortunately, they didn't have their color commentary team there. They had another venue, another conflict of whatever they were doing. So, dude, guess what they did? They put some loudmouth, washed-up, has-been announcer named Bill Hazelwood on a live mic on pay-per-view. And the people were able to hear. I didn't do color commentary, but I know they didn't stretch your imagination. I just did what I did. I agged the fighters on, talked shit to the crowd, reacted to the knockouts, just like everybody else on Friday night. So that's another unique experience they'll be able to hear that I've never did. So I was on pay-per-view on Friday night. Saturday, fortunately, they brought back some professionals because. But we got great feedback on the Friday night fight, so they were able to hear me talking the trash that I talked to the fighters and agging them on because the joke is if the fighters are fighting and the crowd is responding, I don't say nothing. But, you got to understand these people have no experience. And it's like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. And unfortunately, if you've never fought, sometimes your plan when you get hit in the mouth is to quit. So we don't allow that to happen because it's only 3 1-minute rounds and they've got big headgear and 16-ounce gloves. And, they get their feelings hurt more than they get hurt because, it's not marbles by no stretch of imagination. But, I'm egging them on. Like I said, I'm like the 10-year-old, at the schoolyard, man. I'm hit them back, man. Don't just let them hit you. Take it, don't let them take it from you. Hit him back, do this, So, they got to experience that live and in living color on pay-per-view. And that was, again, at app.fightforitcompany.com. So I highly encourage everybody to watch this once in a lifetime, or maybe it'll become an annual thing, but the first time ever, Roughest, Toughest Brawl, Southern Nationals. Fighters from 5 states coming together in Rainsville, Alabama, strapping it on, putting on the gloves, getting weighed in, getting matched up by the boxing commission. We have no control over that, so the fighters are matched up in their weight divisions, all this other good stuff. Given a physical, couldn't be safer. But we're going to see who the baddest SOBs in the Deep South are. And, the Southern people is, they're really something. So I'm excited myself about to see this because I think the level of fighting is going to be off the chart. I really do.
It's going to be off the charts. And a little birdie told me that your partners over there at the Roughest and Toughest Brawl, they put together a brand new podcast that is starting to create some buzz out there, right?
Well, Mike Long and Chris Walters are childhood friends. They've known each other forever. And just like I told you, I grew up in Coaldale, West Virginia, and I'd have to name 7 towns over before you'd know where the hell I was at. Okay, so they grew up in Union County, North Carolina, and guess what? Unionville. Okay, Unionville 40 years ago, as you probably could stand in downtown Charlotte and ask people where Unionville was who were from there, and they go, I don't know. So they grew up in the sticks, just like I did, and we always joke and say we're just 3 rednecks that got lucky. But yes, we're on the 501st show of DeKalb Wrestling. They have done the first show, and I highly encourage everybody to listen to this because I'll get to what they talked about here in a second, but it's called the Born Southern Podcast. Now, I know for a fact they're on YouTube, and they're probably on several other formats as well, but YouTube is the simplest thing to do. You go to Born Southern Podcast. And Duke, if you're ready for this is something. I've watched this back about 4 or 5 times, and I have almost fell off my couch every time. Their first guest is a guy called Eric Purser, and he was their childhood friend too. And come to find out, Unionville, North Carolina, 40 years ago had how am I going to put this? Their own version of Bigfoot, and it was called the Swoop Monster. And you listen to Mike, who's a big old redneck, and you listen to Chris, who's a big old redneck, and then you listen to Eric Purser, who, man, I'm going to tell you right now, he may not be the most redneck guy I've ever heard, but he probably gets Christmas cards from first and second place. I mean, his southern accent will cut hard butter. Talk about the swoop monster and the experiences they had with that when they were teenagers is unreal. And Mike swore to me the other day, because, you know, it's like you watch Ancient Aliens, or if it, you know, somebody talks about UFOs, a million people laugh at them because you don't want to be that guy. Well, Mike said he's had dozens of people in and around Unionville, North Carolina, Union County, reach out to him and say, hey, man, we had a similar experience when I was growing up, but we didn't want to be that person. We didn't want to tell nobody because we didn't want to be the county idiot. We didn't want to be laughed at. So the response to the swoop monster on Born Southern podcast is unreal. I mean, it's unimaginable how much response they've got from this. So I highly encourage you guys to go to YouTube and listen to the Born Southern podcast and the swoop monster. And if you would, put in the comments, Duke loves wrestling. That way we can find out how many fans came across from the award-winning Duke Loves Wrestling Network and listen to the first ever Born Southern podcast, #1 show, the swoop monster. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I went back and listened, and I said, boy, these guys just, you know, they pulled me in. I mean, I was looking out my window looking for the swoop monster.
Well, listen, I'm going to stay where I'm at because I got enough problems here. I don't need a swoop monster coming to get me.
Man, can you imagine a Bigfoot in downtown Boston? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, if they show up, they'll be showing up for the World Cup. You know, we got the World Cup coming here.
You know,
all the soccer.
Yeah, a friend of mine is from India, and I always knew that soccer was big, but I never realized how big international football, because that's what they consider it. Soccer is international football. And the immense crowds that they draw and the level of stardom that these soccer players are on an international stage. So he told me last year that they were bringing it to the United States because, again, that's where the money's at. You know, it's pretty much, you know, whatever you bring over here, the crowd responds. The ticket prices are what they are. So Boston is hosting, are they hosting like the semifinals or part of the tournament, or what are they having?
Part of the tournament. It's going to be here, and a lot of those games we played at Gillette Stadium, which is technically in Foxborough, but
right.
The people will be staying mostly in the Boston area. So we're going to have the whole kit and caboodle out here, brother.
Really? Oh my God. Yeah. And there'll be tons of people that have, came here from other countries to live here in the great country of the United States showing up to watch that. And he told me that the level of excitement was just unimaginable. He said that the people that, get behind a team, man, they're behind it. And, cricket's big in India as well, but he said soccer was, just on a different level as far as fans and excitement and stuff like that. Because basically they're wearing shoes, socks, a jock straps, and shorts and a shirt. And, there's no helmets, there's no pads, there's no whatever. And, I'm sure growing up you've gotten hit by a soccer ball, but I certainly got hit in the head by a soccer ball, but it wasn't kicked by Pele. I mean, it was kicked by an 8th grader. So I can imagine how tough these guys got to be when they, a world-class athlete kicks that ball and then you bounce it off your head and pass it to your partner. I mean, these guys got to be tougher than shoe leather. So, I'm excited.
Well, they might be tough, but they're not the roughest and the toughest, though, because we already know.
No. Well, if we're running a show at that time, I'll invite some of the soccer players down, and I'll pay their entry fee.
There you go. You'll really sell out then,
Right.
Wait, hold on a second, Bill. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's this I hear about you selling T-shirts?
Oh, no. Don't drag that out of me. I'll expose that, too, on the Duke Loves Wrestling thing, and it's you're partly to blame for this, okay? March the 15th, I started my 25th year in announcing. And I've done pro wrestling, MMA, Roughest and Toughest Brawl, Country Boy Olympics. I've done it all, okay? And I've announced everybody from the top of the food chain to the bottom. I've announced from Ric Flair on down and everybody in between. And I've never, ever, ever considered myself famous on any level. But a good friend of mine named E. Duke Bennett sent me a AI the other day, last month, or maybe it's longer than that, of me that he'd drawn up, and I liked it. And so one of our great sponsors here locally for our local wrestling event is the Swag Kings. Their website is theswagkings.com. They're like 10 minutes from my house, and they do a world-class job. Even though they're located here, they work with companies called like Jasper Transmission. The big arena here is Bon Secours Wellness Arena. They print their apparel. So now they are the official apparel maker of Bill Hazelwood. Now we're starting small. I'm starting with one shirt. Because you got to start small. You can't go, hey man, I'm ordering a truckload, and when I've only got a half truckload left, I'm gonna wonder where my 401k went. So, but it's the caricature that you drew up for me, because we tested it here locally, and I sold like 50 shirts like it was nothing. So it's a great little thing. But also what I like about what they do is he kind of explained to me two things. First of all, everybody certainly knows that not all shirts are alike. There's different fabric, there's different this, there's whatever. So he showed me the quality of the fabric that they use, and prices was no different than as far as what they were selling them for. And then also he does what's called a breathable transfer. Some of the shirts that you order offline, say you upload a picture, say the caricature that you had on the front of your show, your website, you uploaded that to someplace and out of China. They just print that on a shirt, and that's solid. So if you're out in that shirt, the way he explained it to me is you can like learn that that's not breathable. You'll start to sweat, because that's like having a piece of plastic right on your chest or on your back. So they use a breathable transfer. Okay, he's got a $10,000 printer that to me doesn't even look like a printer, and it doesn't use ink. I don't know how the hell he does it. So it's way over my pay grade. But he puts that on there, so it's a breathable transfer. So I'll give you the link here in a second. So if anybody wants the one and only first run of his first merchandise ever, Bill Hazelwood, it'll be $35. We got them in all sizes, and that includes shipping anywhere in the world. And wow. If you mention if you mention Duke Loves Wrestling, I'll put a personalized note in there to you from me, which when I die might be worth about 15 cents. But but let me make sure I get this link right, because again, Duke, I've got to write things down. It's allmylinks.com/swag-kings. Let me go to the text that he sent me as well. Okay. You can pay on that site. He'll do the shipping and all that good stuff. And, like I said, he does a world-class job. So hopefully, you can get a t-shirt. I'd like to hear from somebody in Australia. I don't know if you've ever had any listeners in South America or, what's the other place? South Pole. That would be cool. If anybody responds from the South Pole and I ship one to the South Pole, you get the shirt for free.
This guy, I'm telling you, watch this guy, folks. He's something else.
It's allmylinks.com/swag, SWAG/kings. allmylinks.com/swag-kings. And you can buy Bill Hazelwood's first release, first merchandise in 25 years. And I'll include you a personalized note in there. And it'll be all because of my friend E. Duke Bennett. You sent this to me on a whim. You remember that?
I sure do.
And I looked at that and I went, because I am intrigued. Because I tell people, seriously, I'm 64. I got my first computer when I was 50. I'm not afraid to tell you that. I thought the QR code was the greatest thing since Jesus getting out of the grave. I've never seen anything like that. And then you showed me the AI thing, and I was just amazed that it made me, I joke to tell people it made me look 15 years younger, so that's the first thing I like. But if you've got that and you want to put it up on your website and show people what the shirt will look like, that would be awesome, because you designed that, my friend, and you and I will talk about your residuals off air.
That's right.
The joke is I always tell people, let's make some money, then we'll fight over it. But it's the Roughest and Toughest Brawl shirt, designed by E. Duke Bennett. It's starring Bill Hazelwood, and then it's got some rednecks in the ring fighting. I mean, it's a comical looking little thing, but I thought that would be a great first merchandise thing for me after 25 years.
Listen, well deserved. Why not? Bill Hazelwood, you've done so much through the years on so many different levels. A true legend in sales, in marketing, broadcasting, commentating, the whole 9 yards there, man. So, why shouldn't you have some merchandise? I think it's fantastic, and I love the fact that people responded so positively to it because you deserve it. You deserve it, Bill.
Thank you.
Always been a great friend of mine, man. We have such a good time on air and off air. So, it's worth the effort.
Well, Duke, I want to tell people this, and they already know this. And I think the reason that I've clicked with you is exactly what I mentioned at the beginning of the show about the wrestlers. We're on the Duke Loves Wrestling award-winning network, 100% true. Top of the food chain on the podcast worldwide, 100% true. Listened to by just untold fans all over the world. All of it's true. And you certainly don't act as famous as you are. You don't. And that's the type of person that I like to get associated with. I mean, again, not talking bad about anybody, and certainly would never mention any names, but I've worked with a lot of stars over the years, and some of them will not let you forget how much of a damn star they are. And, they always used to joke and go, you definitely don't want to work with a CEO that wears a big badge around his damn neck that goes CEO, because what was the movie where Dana Carvey and them was the thing, and they had the backstage passes going to the concert, and they had the badge.
Oh, yeah.
And they were showing everybody that VIP pass. Man, we're VIPs. We're VIPs. I've worked with people over the years that act like that. And certainly, Duke Bennett certainly does not act like that. He is as down to earth as anybody that I've ever met. And I just consider him a real friend. And I've said this before. I don't have a lot of friends in the business. I know a lot of people, and there's certainly a big difference. So I want to thank you for allowing me to come on once again and talk about the Roughest and Toughest Brawl, which again is March the 27th and 28th. You guys can watch it on pay-per-view and then go back and watch the Rainsville shows for free. And then starting next week, you can also rewatch the Rainsville pay-per-view over and over again. So if you know a fighter that's signed up, show them your support, man, because these people are fighting 100% from the heart. So, I kind of tone it down and get serious when I talk about a serious subject because, I'm the old goofy loudmouth guy, but, I'm a true believer in local heroes. And to me, Duke Bennett's my hero.
Strictly for the culture every day. Step in style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so defined. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In this fashion, you'll touch the sky. Strictly for the culture, brand so fine. Dress to impress and show your shine. Strictly for the culture, every day. Step in style in your unique way.
Visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.